Hello everyone, welcome back to my Roth IRA. Today we have some big news about Nvidia, which was beautiful because I spoke about Google, Amazon, and Nvidia was next. And now Nvidia is sitting at an all-time high. So very excited to talk about that. We also bought some stocks this week, so I'm going to share a little bit what I bought. And we're going to be talking just a little bit of what's going on with the whole Iran and Israel situation. So let's get to it. As always, my whole goal is to outperform the S&P 500. So let's take a look at where we're at right now. So now the portfolio year to date, so from January 1st to now, June 25th, we're up 23.6%. And year on year, so from June to June, we're up 37%. So let's go check out the S&P 500. The S&P 500 for year to date is up 3.8%. And for year on year is only up 11%. So we're outperforming the S&P 500. First goal met. So let's keep up that goal. Let's get to Nvidia. Nvidia, what a what an amazing story. You don't see a graph like this. You really don't, unless you have something special. Nvidia is a company that figured out that GPUs originally was for gaming, and now it's pretty much the backbone of AI. It's used for training, data inferencing, all these amazing stuff. And NVIDIA is the key essential. It's pretty much the brain of AI. So let's take a little peek about NVIDIA's growth recently. So in 2021, NVIDIA, the revenue, so the money it was bringing in, is $16 billion. And the net income, which is pretty much after they paid all the bills and everything like that, and all the employees and taxes, is $4 billion. So that was in 2021. As you can see, massive growth. So in that little amount of time, Nvidia, the revenue is 130 billion and the net income is amazing. 72 billion. As you can see, year on year, the revenue is up 114% and the net income, the money that is retaining, is up 144%. So this money is this company is printing money and it's amazing. It's a company that you're like, oh man, it's $3 trillion. Can it still grow? And I really think it can, and I'll explain why. But real quick, let's watch this video.
NVIDIA today having its annual shareholder meeting. We're seeing more and more bullish signs about data centers. Our Scott Cohn's actually in Louisiana talking about a data center that Meta's building that could kind of cover, it looks like, some significant parts of Manhattan, maybe the Upper West and the Upper East Side, if you kind of tilted that map a little bit that we showed earlier. When we're talking about NVIDIA going forward, what are your expectations? Can it still maintain these very lofty expectations? Does it still have the same dominance when it comes to the AI chip space?
My view is 100% yes. I personally love NVIDIA right here. The fact that if you go back to middle or early of summer last year, the stock is kind of traded sideways. It's still slightly below its high, and the multiple that it's getting in the market.
So you're saying NVIDIA was trading sideways. And this is the power of buying a great company at the right price. So as you can see, yeah, it has been trading sideways, but if you buy at the right price, you can make some good money. So let me show you my buys on NVIDIA. And this is a company that's super safe. As you can see, it was up today 4%. And if you go down, my average on this company, I was buying it when the whole DeepSeek scenario happened, where everybody said, oh, China's coming up with a crazy AI and didn't need NVIDIA's chips. In reality, they probably use NVIDIA's chips. So I bought that dip. It was an amazing dip. My average was $112, and my return is 37%. So as you can see, if you buy the right companies at the right price, so I was buying somewhere around here when everything was down, and I enjoyed this nice run, and NVIDIA is still going to continue. So remember, even if there's great companies, the right price matters.
It is very low relative to its growth. I think the key for NVIDIA is they're still dominating the training market with GPUs. They have the best product. It offers customers the best performance, and the demand is insatiable. So they're making and selling everything they can. And the key here is what I think is going to be almost an acceleration of their sequential quarter to quarter beats and raises. that will come as more of this Blackwell product, their most advanced new GPU system, starts to.
So this is the Blackwell product that he's talking about, the best of the best. And he's talking about demand. Nvidia, literally every time it makes a product, somebody is betting for it. You have companies like Meta, companies like Google, companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, Tesla. All these companies are fighting for Nvidia chips because these are the brains of AI. And you'll soon we'll talk a little bit about robotics, and that's going to be the next big step.
To ship in volume this quarter and then going into the back half of the year. So that's going to be the true test, and I think they pass with flying colors.
I want to ask you kind of a double-sided question. Number one, what are your top picks in the space? And also, we're talking about defense spending in the recent days.
So that was a little bit about Nvidia. As we talked about it, these companies are betting billions and billions of dollars because it's an AI race, and if they don't have the best product, which is Nvidia chips, they will lose to their competitor, which is, let's say, for instance, Meta and Google. They want to win. They're gonna put their money, and these companies, they have money and they're spending. But the next big thing, so AI is a huge tailwind. Nvidia is already making so much money off of that. The next thing is the robotics opportunity for Nvidia. Nvidia is the brain of AI and is going to be the brain of these automated robots. This is the reason why Tesla's robots are going to be walking around factories, building and acting exactly like a human. The other video I was talking about Google and Amazon, how they're showcasing their robots. Guess what they all need? They need NVIDIA chips, at least for now. I know AMD is catching up, but NVIDIA is just so far ahead. And if you need the best of the best, especially if you're competing, you're going to need NVIDIA's chips. So this is Jensen Huang. He's talking a little bit about it. He's like, we have growth opportunities across our company with AI and robotics, the two largest, representing multi-trillion-dollar growth opportunity. And this is coming from the CEO. So the company is already making billions and trillions. With the robotics, is projected to be the next biggest catalyst. And if you're in this company and that becomes true, even this company being at a $3 trillion valuation, it is cheap, still cheap. This company has potential to be a $10 trillion company easy in the next 10 years, or a $15 trillion company if we put these growth perspectives into place. So as you can see here, NVIDIA is just a company that is very unique. So let's look at the roadmap of the physical AI world for NVIDIA.
Real world impact. You got robotaxis, humanoid robots, warehouse automation, that cute little robot Blue that Jensen brought on stage. It's also the next step in Jensen Huang's roadmap, part of his keynote yesterday, coming after agentic AI. He talked it up again last hour with Jim, as Sarah said, talked about robots to solve worker shortages. Robotics is one of the largest infrastructure opportunities. But the vision is clear, the timeline less so. And Huang's enthusiasm about the potential in robotics, that contrasts with China's lead in making cheap, functional robots. So what is holding up US startups? Well, there's a long list, but a few of them include real-world physics, regulation, standardization. All of those are hurdles, messier in physical AI than they are in digital AI. That means truly useful physical AI at scales. It could be years away. I hosted a panel at GTC yesterday in Santa Clara on this very subject with builders at every level of the physical AI stack, from NVIDIA and Microsoft executives on the back end to Foxconn's head of industrial AI, who's already implementing it at warehouses, to Intrinsic's CTO building humanoid robots. They all agreed that generalized robots in our homes and offices were less than 10 years away, but that we still need that GPT moment for them to go mainstream and capture the attention of consumers, enterprises. Wendy,
I think consumers are not going to have a hard time adapting with these robots. I think these robots are going to be a game changer, especially in the home aspect. So let's say you're an older gentleman or female and you don't want to go to a nursing home and you're not there yet, but you want to have your independence. But let's say a 24 bottle water container is very heavy for you. The robot can do that for you. The robot can do your laundry. The robot can do your dishes. The robot can even walk your dog. So if you think about it, I think humans are going to benefit a lot from that in many, many ways. And along with these factories and, you know, the biggest aspect, the cost of labor for these companies that they're paying out is human labor. Do I think some jobs are going to be cut because of this? Yes, absolutely. But I think it's kind of like the internet age. We got rid of typewriters, we got rid of a lot of paper, but people evolved and got better, and new jobs were created because of computers, for instance.
Wendy Tan White, CEO of Alphabet-owned robotics company Intrinsic, she suggested a scenario where a humanoid robot builds an IKEA bookshelf as the kind of breakthrough that would signal physical AI's readiness for the real world. A task that requires adapting to unstructured environments, handling uncertainty, and executing complicated multi-step tasks, all without human intervention. Meanwhile, though, the competition between the US and China is intensifying. China's full steam ahead, scaling physical AI at smart factories and building companies like Unitree that you might have heard of. They're already commercializing humanoid robots that are more affordable and accessible than the ones that are still in development at Tesla or Boston Dynamics. Here in the US, NVIDIA, Huang, they've really just begun introducing physical AI in earnest to this wider audience. First at CES earlier this year, now this week at GTC, and focusing on the underlying technologies. So
they talked about China competing. Yes, China is a fierce competitor, but I think with the United States, especially in terms of a security aspects, I don't think it would be a wise thing to have Chinese robots with Chinese hardware and memory walking around independently. I think that would be a huge security aspect. So I think at least in the United States, the total addressable market will come to American companies like Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, Google.
guys, like we've seen over the past few years in digital AI, scale and integration, that's critical. This next race is even higher stakes. Sarah, are we ready for it? Still unanswered.
I am ready for a robot to build an IKEA piece of furniture. That is a very hard task and a great use
One other
case.
way I'll be made obsolete. Yeah.
My husband too.
So that was a little video about it. But before we get any further, let's talk about what I bought. So this week I deposited $200. I put in 100 in United Health to make a full share, and I put the rest in Google. So that's pretty much what I did. So 100 and 100, 100 to United Healthcare, and 100 into Google. So let's get to the big news and what's really going on in this crazy world that we live in. You know, Israel versus Iran, and this was Trump's take on it.
Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
So as you can see, Trump is mad. I mean, I would be too, because we thought this whole war thing ended. You know, we killed the Iranian nuclear sites. At least that's what it said. And now Israel still want to attack, and Iran still wants to attack. So let's bring peace. But one thing you have to remember, this market is resilient. As you can see, throughout this past year, we went through a lot of bad news. Everything was going to hell. We had all these crazy, tariff talks, wars, Iran war, Ukraine war, all these wars. But at the end of the day, every single time the market got scared, it was a great opportunity to buy. So just remember that. The market has been around through so many years, so many bad events, World War II, 9/11, and COVID, now this. So just keep buying when you have good opportunities. Buy great companies at great prices, kind of like how I showed you in NVIDIA. And you can make 30 to 40, 50, even 100% gains on companies that are safe. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you on the next one.